Hello gang and welcome to Deltia from DeltiasGaming.com, back with the Omega build. Yes, Magic Templar, updated for ESO 2.2 Orsinium right around the corner. The premise of this build is it's simple, using all craftable gear, Twiceborn Star, you can use Magnus or Julianos, the new setup coming. Focusing on two Mundus Stones, Shadow and Thief, hitting extremely hard. It's very easy to play. You can get this gear and start it off early on, and it's going to rock well into the future for Orsinium. So if you're looking for a Magic Templar DPS for PvE, this is the video for you. For this build, I want to do something a little different, and that's start off with the gear first. This is a unique concept, using the Twiceborn Star set to get two Mundus Stones. But I wanted a disclaimer first. Number one, I am not the person who invented or theorycrafted this. I heard it about 3 weeks ago from Gil and Nifty, and I think some other people and different servers have done it. Shout out to those two or any of the theorycrafters that figured the math behind this out. Just know, it's not me. I'm just here to share the results. Also, shout out to the man who donated me so much gold that I could be able to craft this stuff and get best in slot gear. Thank you so much. Okay, without further ado, what is this? I'm using 5 pieces of Twiceborn Star. Allows you to have 2 Mundus Stones at the same time. Turns out, the math shows that this is the most damage possible with all Divine's gear. You get 18.3% critical and 18.3% critical damage with double swords. So here's what it looks like on my stats. Shadow and the Thief. All into Magicka. When I get my inner light up, I'm at 42,000 magic, which you can even get higher if you do a 5 heavy or 5 light, 1 medium, 1 heavy setup. 19k health. That's partly due to the other benefits to Twiceborn Star, but I have very, 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 very low magic recovery, which we'll get to and cover that. I still get around it. Okay, so the gear, Twiceborn Star. Like I said, I have no idea about the math, but literally changing from another build where I used Overwhelming Surge, in this, I did about 3,000 damage a second more, 2,000 damage a second more than my stamina build. It's that powerful. Okay, so where do you get Twiceborn Star? Some good news is it's craftable. Some bad news is it's 9 trait. It's going to be very hard to get a hold of this gear, and there is really no substitute for it. And the setup that I went with is Twiceborn Star and then the Overwhelming Robe with 1 Molag Kina set. Essentially, it's a 4-piece that gives you spell damage. Now, when the new Juliano set comes out with 6 traits craftable, you're probably going to want to use that over Overwhelming, requiring you not to do any of the new dungeons, which I'm a little disappointed in, but it's nice for people that don't want to complete that content and still have access to the best gear and slot. So for right now, if you wanted to do this setup, you could go with a Twiceborn Star 5-piece and a 4-piece like Magnus that gives you spell damage at the 4-piece and gives you a nice boost in magic recovery. That's also a good option. You're going to go all arcane willpower rings. Where do you get those? Those are found in Imperial City. You get them from, I forget which, I think in Spone Shard. The key merchants and stuff like that. I forget which. Just Google it. I honestly don't know. I got mine. I'm happier than a hornet. I don't know if that's a real saying or not. But anyways, so what you do is you hit 2 swords on here. Nirnhone trait. Now I went flame damage and poison. I think poison is the most DPS, so I'm going to swap that little scudder there to be in my first bar. And it's also important to do double swords on your back as well. Now, a friend of mine crafted this. And she misclicked, I think, on Sharpen. It's supposed to be precise trait. So for this, you want damage and the penetration that Nirnhone provides. Double swords, you can get that maximum stat. And then on the back, you're going to want precise trait. The reason you do this setup is if you bar swap and it goes on and off, you'll have to reacquire Mundus Stone. So that's kind of a pain in the butt. If you don't want to do this setup, you're going to have to craft 1 more piece of gear on your person and then use a two-hander. It turns out two-hander is actually more damage than double swords. Once again, I'm not the person that figured this out. Someone else mathed it up. It's not me. And then the back sword, the backs, you can, instead of doing swords, you could do resto staff to fully charge heavy attack. So I highly recommend that setup if you're not completely geared out, you don't have a million champion points like me, and you're struggling with magic recovery with this build. The main thing is get 5 pieces of Twice Burn Star. It makes that big of a difference. It really does. Make sure they're all divines. Divines, 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 divines. That's super important. And this can also work on stamina builds as well, though magic seems like a monster benefit. I'm using blue food, so that's by stat, magic, and health at VR 15. You're going to want the thief, more critical strike, almost 60% critical, and then crit damage. The idea behind this is that you could stack max magic and spell damage, and you just can't outperform with using puncturing sweeps what you could with this. It is just that powerful. So let's go talk about skills and go kill some stuff and show you just how hard the sucker's hitting. Alright, we're here in Imperial City and we're going to talk about the skills real quick. It's a simple magic Templar build that Nifty showed me how to use. First bar, keep it simple. You're going to have Inner Light, max magic, spell critical. You're going to have Structured Entropy, your major sorcery, spell damage. And also, you don't want to use Structured Entropy if you have access to spell power potions. It's a very expensive thing to do, but your DPS will increase because the less time you have to cast this, the more DPS you can produce. There's also a benefit to front barring this, and that's more max magic and more magic recovery. The ultimate I use is Shooting Star. Gains ultimate and it's fire damage. That goes very, very well with my Dunmer. And as Gil told us, Engulfing Flame, making this going to hit even harder. So Shooting Star ultimate back, more often we can use it. Notice that only costs 192 ultimate. So it's actually cheaper with our Templar ultimate passive. Another thing that I like to use, I used to use Purifying Light, but for some reason it does not critically hit. So I can't have something like that on a full crit build. If you want more range, take the other morph of Solar Barrage into Dark Flare, and you can just spam that. But you need something in Dawn's Wrath as an opener, even the ultimate. The reason being is, grants minor sorcery to you and nearby allies, 5% damage. So basically, as you got it right here, you got your major damage, and you got your minor damage. It's very, very simple. Now, if it's another Templar is in your group and casting these spells, you don't have to have that buff up. And you want to swap it for something else here. But either way, just know you need a Dawn's Wrath to start. Radiant Destruction or Radiant Oppression is a Dawn's Wrath ability, but you're not going to go in there and laser beam someone's face off at 100%. Even though I've seen a lot of people try to do it. So the best bet would probably be to use Vampire's Bane as a Dunmer for a dot, and then or a Dark Flare for range. Either way, start off with that. Go into your Structured Entropy, and then good old sweeps. It's super easy. Hits extremely hard, and the reason it hits extremely hard is each chance has a chance to proc. Da-da-da, where is it? I'm on the wrong bar. Da-da-da, Burning Light. Gives you a 25% chance to cause extra damage. Now, when that sucker crits, you're looking at almost 8,000 damage at a 60% chance to crit. So your spear hits extremely hard. Plus, it gives you tons of health, and it's actually pretty cheap considering that's a 1.1 second channel. So the more damage you do, the more self-healing you have. It's just easy. You sit in there and sweeps. That's it. When the boss gets around 25% health or lower, you do your laser beam of death. Don't start it out at 50%. Do it at 25. You'll see much better results if you wait that long. So that's it for single target. Now sweeps does great AoE, but it's not in a radius. So it only will go in front of you, as I'm going to show you here. So if there's something else, you go back to your back bar here and use Blazing Spear. The reason I put Blazing Spear on my back bar is you'll notice, where is it? Piercing Spear. Increase damage critical strikes by 10%. So yes, Templar, you can get more critical damage, but you have to have one Adric Spear ability slotted. So I like to put this sucker on the back bar. And then I have all my utility set up. So I have Breath of Life for a massive heal. I can even heal with this build. Kind of half-ass healing, but it still works if stuff's dying a lot. And then I have Repentance. Keeping this slotted gives you health, stamina, and magic covered by 10%. It's going to help you with your magic. Also Channel Focus, another magic regeneration tool. Since we're using duels, dual swords, we're going to rely on a bunch of different factors for magic recovery. Channel focus, we can use this. And if you really are lacking, you want to go with light armor, harness magicka, especially if you're taking flame damage. That flame damage that you get will actually turn into resources. And if someone else is healing you, it's actually very, very powerful. So if you're really struggling with magic, get harness magic and put it here. Another thing, if you're struggling with magic, enchant your jewelry, not with spell damage, but reduce cost. Maybe a couple reduced cost, 1 magic recovery. That will go a long way. Or use a set, a 4-piece set that has magic recovery in it, and do the champion points, which I'm going to show you later. Okay, then also have Solar Prison right here, and that is Nova, 240 ultimate cost. It's powerful, doesn't have the burst, it costs more, but it has damage dealing and a powerful synergy. So it depends. If you have another Templar in your group, don't use it. If you don't have another Templar in your group and you need the damage mitigation, use it. All right, shut up, Delphi. Let's go stuff. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. That's annoying, isn't it? Okay, let's drop down here and kill stuff. Now, this isn't like Solo YOLO Imperial City build or anything, which I will show you in another video. Did they clear everything out in here? Might as well get in stealth. Someone's here. Is Charlie here? Charlie Wilson. Okay, first thing I do, I plop my channel focus down. Channel focus is, you see it restoring magic there, and when we move out of the circle, we still get 8 seconds of it. So before I start attacking, channel focus. Vampire's Bane, Structured Entropy, there's my 2 buffs, and then sweeps. Oh, how dare you stun me. And sweeps. Look, 8.6 Burning Light, 6.4k Puncturing Sweeps. If we pull up our chart here, yes, this is a 9-second parse, I know. But look how hard this stuff's hitting. Vampire's Bane almost hit for 10,000. Burning Light, 9,000. I mean, both of those things are almost hitting for 9,000 damage. And it's super easy. You're just literally sitting in there spamming puncturing sweeps. So let's get some mob with some health here. Where's the mob at? Who'll be killing this stuff? Don't be ganking me on a video. See, these mobs know when I'm recording, I swear. Okay, so for us, we're going to go 1, 2, and we throw a spear down if they're all by each other. If not, light attack once, and sweeps. And don't continue to light attack. Just light attack to get ultimate up and proc your enchant. So usually I do 3 light attacks, or 3 sweeps, then a light attack. So light attack, and 1Zs, 2Zs, 3Zs, light attack. Laser beam. Repentance. I mean, the build is super easy, and it's fun, and you can just destroy things. It's just that easy. I mean, it's not complex at all, and it's fun. Who doesn't want to jab everything's face off? Alright, so let's see if we can't just, like, murk something here. Okay. Channel focus down. Vampire. Pickle juice. And Destructocon. Get off of the stun. See? This guy wants to stun me. You know what? Just for that, you're getting laser beamed. Boom! Almost a 30k shooting star, gang. You're getting teabagged too. I don't usually do this, but you decided to take aim at me, so whatever, dude. Get over it. Okay. That's it. Let's talk about the champion points. It's super simple and super effective, and usually the things that are most simple are usually the best. Champion points, the 501 setup that I found most effective. Alright, we're in champ points, and if you watched yesterday's video, you'll remember that in stamina builds, I do a 60-40 split between the resource that you want. So, reduce cost, I still find this more attractive in PvE, even as a magic build. So I do this right here. And then I also go with recovery. You get more stats out of recovery, but the reduced cost makes it easier to put down that channel focus and get magic back. I'm also going to show you a couple other skills for more magic if you're struggling. Oh, what do I have here and there? Well, we need to take that out. But I don't want to spend 3,000 gold. Okay. Now, the very first thing you want to do if you're low on champion points is get spell precision. Increases your critical strike rating by 12%. It takes 30 points to get, so essentially you have to have 90 champion points before you get this. And I highly recommend to split it between Elfborn and Spell Erosion, or go all in Spell Erosion. Spell Erosion increased damage of healing dealt by, increased damage and healing by spells. So you're going to heal harder, you're going to crit harder. Crit, along with our Mundus Stone, 18.3, 17.1, and our 10% in our passive. As you can see, we crit very hard. In Spell Erosion, you don't need a whole lot of that. It's more important to have the crit bonus than it is Spell Erosion. Either way, get your 30 points here. You come over to here, the Mac Dizzle, Thaumaturge, increases your damage with Poison, Disease, and Magic. Now, we do have actually have two skills that use fire, but you're still not going to want to dump a whole lot of points into there. You want Thaumaturge to be high. Vampire's Bane and Shooting Star are both fire. But if we have a Dragonite using Engulfing Flames, it's going to benefit us a lot. So that's your setup there. The red, I still highly recommend Elemental Defender and Hardy. And then going pretty heavy into Spell Shield for spell resistance. And then also Quick Recovery. Quick Recovery affects your own healing. So Puncturing Sweeps, it's going to heal you more by 7.3% with this. It's a big bonus. Okay, so now with this setup, it does lack some of the magic recovery that other builds have. So what I recommend, if that is you, is going into your gear, and instead of doing the 5-4 setup, do 5 and 3. So take away one sword and then go with a two-hander or a Resto and Destro staff. Resto and Destro if you're just starting this build and you have trouble. You're going to want to go into Destruction Staff and you're going to want to take Elemental Drain. If you read this, while the effect is active, attacks with fire, shock, or frost damage restore magic. So when it says attacks, that could be even using your Destruction Staff. So if you're doing light attacks in between your abilities, so Puncturing Sweeps, light attack, Puncturing Sweeps, light attack, that's going to give you a lot of magic back, as well as keeping your channel focus down. Those two things will keep you a lot of magic. Now, you're still having trouble, go with Siphon Spirit. Siphon Spirit gives you magic when you attack stuff. Each attack against the enemy has a chance to restore health and 1% magicka. So 1% magicka, 42,000, that's a lot. Now, a tip is Siphon Spirits can give you or any nearby ally. So as a healer, your healer can run this if you're having magic problems. Destruction Staff, Elemental Drain, anyone can run the debuff, but only the person that cast it is going to get back the benefit. So you're going to want to keep this up. And even further, if you're having magic problems, you go to Guild, Undaunted. The other morph of this, Mystic Orb, will actually give you magic back using the synergy. Keep on going further. More and more tips here. Guild, Undaunted, Undaunted Command. Activating the ally synergy restores 4% of your max health, stamina, and magicka. So using a synergy, no matter what it is, 1,600 magic. And what's the cost of sweeps? 1,800. So if you use sweeps and you're running out of magic, use synergies. Usually tanks will do inner fire as a ranged taunt. Pop that synergy if it's on them if you're struggling. All these little things will add up for your sustained. So highly recommend early on, if you're not used to it, 5 and 3 gear setup. And you can even do a 5 and 2 and then use a monster helm like Engine Guardian if you're still struggling with resources. So try that setup out first. And if you get more advanced and you have more champion points, you're more familiar, then switch up to the advanced version, which is just straight monster DPS. Gang, that's Omega. Now, Omega PvP, I am still working on it. So let's go ahead and show you what that's kind of looking at. Where did I put it? Yeah. I have a 1vx and a group PvP build that I'm working on. So just to show you what I've been doing, what I've been doing is using a charge, sword, and board, and I go defensive stance. So I have my top lane charge, I have defensive stance to reflect, so it gives me a way to use stamina. I'm in 5 heavy pieces of gear, 2 light, Engine Guardian, Elfbane. And then I have sweeps, repentance, and bats. Bats on the front bar, that way I can use it as a bat bomb and get the 10% magicka. My back bar is repentance, mutagen, elusive mist, once again for the resources, blazing spear as a ranged, putting 2 of those abilities on my bar, breath of life, emergency heal, and then barrier. Barrier gives me magic recovery for having it slotted, along with repentance, tons and tons of magic. I do mutagen as a good heal over time to myself and allies, and also it does remove 1 harmful effect. So even if you are getting burnt as a vampire. Now, the trick to this build is you want to have magic detonation, or proxy detonations, what we're going to morph it into. So you cast this sucker, and that's the picture of the build. Oh, someone's here. Who's here? Oh, yellow? Should we try to kill him? Oh, my prox, better eat some food. All right, let's show him what this is up. Here we go. Where's he at? 3, 2, 1. Oh, that is hitting hard on these guys. Sorry, dude. I'm doing a video. Anyways, you're going to want to do proxy det. And then you're going to toppling charge in with the spell power potion up. And then you're going to hit solar barrage. And then kaboom. Your next attack is going to get in power, allowing you to just nuke people. Now, they didn't have a whole lot of health, so I just nuked them anyways. Sorry, guys. But, yeah, that's the PvP version. So if you're running around Imperial cities, I go 5 heavy, 2 light, Elfbane, drinks, healthy arcane gear, healthy willpower gear, and it's brutal. Thanks you so much for watching, and huge shout out to Guardian Rain. Without him, this build would not be possible. I'm continuing to work on this stuff. I got back from TwitchCon and spent hours and hours and hours and hours playing, and now it's time to pump up the videos because we have the information. And shout out to the theory crafters out there. Nifty, my dog, teaching me Templar. Gilly McWillie, the RNG theory crafting genius. All you guys, thank you. Hope this information is helpful. Keep watching, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you found this helpful. Thank you.